Mute that. Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm going to forewarn you. I'm just now noticing this, that the voice is in the beginning stages of disappearing.
Oh, already?
Yeah. The last few weeks have been super heavy podcast, and I haven't really had that 2 to 3 day break to recover, and it's coming.
Got to fine tune your instrument, Neal.
I can feel it on its way. It's a Phil Collins song. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I can feel it coming in my throat tonight.
That's what she said. And here we go. Almost made you spit your drink up.
I walked right into that.
You did. You know.
Hey, Billy, here comes the curveball.
Speak highly of me.
Yeah. When you speak of me, speak well. All right, we'll get rolling on the show. We're going to talk Alex Grinch at USC. We're going to jump into this Michigan thing a little bit. I was telling Tyler, I just noticed that Lane Kiffin, the Ole Miss coach, has weighed in on the Michigan scandals.
Why not? Everybody else has.
We'll get in on that. We'll talk about the games ahead in the SEC, a couple of national games. For some reason, Tyler wants to talk about Chargers Jets.
Let's go.
And then I got life advice.
Life advice.
Life advice coming your way.
Part two.
This is a good one.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. This is a little specific. This is where it's going to be a keep it real life advice kind of a moment.
Yeah, this is.
I people say, I've had people tell me, "Hey man, you keep it real," and then I've had people go, "You keep it a little too real," and I'm like, "Well,
you asked.
You asked. I answered. I gave you my thoughts."
Yeah. See, that goes to my pet peeve. You can't ask for my opinion and then bitch about my opinion that I give you.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion.
Don't say,
you don't have to agree with it.
Let me ask you what you would do in this situation, and then I tell you. And you're like, well, that's not what I want to do. Well, then why did you ask me?
Yeah. You don't have to agree with it. It's just my opinion.
My wife and I have this conversation all the time. She'll ask me a question, and I'm like, does it matter? She said, what do you mean? Does it matter what I say? Does my answer to this question matter?
Yeah.
Like the question on Friday, do you think we ought to go ahead and get the ornaments out of the attic? That's not a question. That's a statement. That's her saying, we could have saved 10 seconds of our time by her saying, I think we should go ahead and get the ornaments out of the attic. Or I would like to go ahead and get the ornaments out of the attic. Instead of, do you think we should go ahead and get the ornaments out of the attic? At which point I could have said, no, it's November the 5th. Why would we do that? At which point she would have said, well, I really want to get them out of the attic.
Dude, I didn't get asked the question. I just got told to go start getting stuff out of the
I
attic.
admire Aaron for the.
Yeah.
Aaron wanted the ornaments out of the attic.
I don't fight that fight.
No,
Everybody
no.
in my house knows that it's not even November 5th. Shit. November 1st is my house.
Yeah. Carson walked upstairs and he goes, it's November the 5th. And I went, yeah.
We literally have 3, not 1, not 2. We have 3 Christmas trees up in our house right now.
So we have an extra tree. Caroline, the one who lives in the ghost room.
Right.
She has a tree, but she's not here. And so it stayed in the attic. And I actually thought about and might still put it there, get a little Christmas spirit into the Clark Ford studio.
Dude, that would be great. I did. I got a Christmas tree upstairs in my man cave. That's one of them. So.
All right. Y'all ready to roll?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me return this text real quick.
Okay.
I got a text now.
Got a client?
Yeah. Taping the show. We'll call you right back.
Okay. What league?
ACC.
ACC.
Yep.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Welcome into episode 128 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. It was good. I'm Neal McCready. That's Tyler Siskey here on this Tuesday afternoon, November the 7th, 2023. Christmas, less than 7 weeks away.
It's here, man.
7 weeks from yesterday is Christmas Day.
Christmas season is here.
It's 80 degrees outside.
It is. It's a beautiful day outside. I will give them that.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a way to get me sick is to keep switching this weather up on me like that. Maybe that's what's wrong with your voice.
Could be.
I'll tell you the other thing that's wrong with your voice is you got your guy next door is over here running a lawnmower and like it's the middle of Kansas in the middle of summertime. He's got a dust storm. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, and I saw you raked your leaves.
I did.
Yeah.
I raked on Friday.
I got in trouble with my leaf removal last week.
What happened?
I blew my leaves out of my front yard into the street.
Yeah.
And then I blew them down the storm drain.
They
didn't like that.
Who didn't like that? Neighbors.
The neighbors. They didn't like that. I told my wife, I was like, well, people act like when it rains, these leaves don't go down that same drain. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's what they do. The drain is prepared for that. I'm not blowing branches down there. Little crumbly old leaves of a tree
that are going to disintegrate.
That are going to disintegrate of a tree that's 8 foot tall. Let's don't get crazy.
Did someone say something to you?
Passive aggressively. And I don't deal with passive aggressive.
What did they say?
They did not. They did not talk to me directly. They talked to my wife about me.
Come on.
Yeah.
What did they say about you to your wife?
They said that you're not supposed to do that. It's going to clog up the drain. And I said, bullshit. They don't know what's going to clog. That person that said that has no fucking idea what's going to clog this drain up or not. Quit.
We never make it 5 minutes.
Well, I said it again, didn't I? My language has been bad last couple days.
You slipped.
I slipped a little bit.
You've slipped.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Tell us about rain, Neal.
We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. Rain's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check it out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking the peach nectarine rainstorm today. Yeah. I'm getting prepped for my Thursday. Make it rain. So I'm going to go double on you. I'm going peach nectarine and the red dragon inferno on Thursday.
Okay.
And then our good friend Bob sent me pictures of the new. He's got his advanced copies, I guess, of the rainstorm coming in. Dude, the flavors come out in 2024 are going to be on fire. So that's going to be excited about that. And Neal, guess what? The Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping today. And I talked to my good friend Chad over at Cooper Chevrolet today, and I asked him if I could read this, and he said yes, by all means, because they released a tweet today.
Okay.
Cooper Chevrolet Tahoes are now $4,000 off MSRP. Cooper Chevrolet in Anniston has over 15 new 2023 Chevy Tahoes discounted up to $4,000 off MSRP. Call 256-236-4481, or you can visit Cooper Chevrolet, as always. These will sell fast. Make sure you guys check them out, and make sure when you call them at 256-236-4481, tell them that McCready and Siskey sent you.
There you go.
So, yeah, they're
all right, where you want to start?
Let's go ahead and I'm going to rip this Band-Aid off real quick.
Let's go to Michigan. So we're going to go?
Well, I was going to talk about, yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Shit. We can do all of it's at the beginning before we get to the SEC stuff. So whatever you want to talk about, fire away, boss.
Let's do this Michigan thing. We'll start there. We'll talk about Alex Grinch in a second. We'll talk about James Madison in a second. This Michigan thing feels like we're headed towards a showdown.
Oh, it's coming.
It feels like we're headed. I mean,
quick.
What's the movie? The GIF that leads to we have ourselves an effing showdown. Feels like we're heading.
Was it a freaking showdown?
Yeah, something along those lines. It's Will Ferrell. It feels like we're headed there. Like this feels like this thing is really building momentum towards Tony Petitti having to do something, and Michigan feels like Michigan knows what's coming, and
they've been told,
and Michigan's going to fight back. At which point, this thing feels like it's about to get kind of contentious.
Yeah, so they were told yesterday. They've been notified. I was told
they've been told specifically, or they've been told
specifically what the Big Ten is going to do,
which is suspend Jim Harbaugh.
That's what they're saying. I have not got that part validated yet, but that's what's out there. That's out there. I haven't said that. I haven't talked to anybody that's told me that. They just know that they've been notified, and they have until tomorrow to respond on that. Ward Manuel, the AD at Michigan, did not go to Dallas for the college football playoff discussions or rankings. So he stayed at home. That tells you something. They're going to fight this. They're going because Michigan's stance is they want to wait until the NCAA. Of course they do. Okay, I mean this is shocker. They want to wait until the NCAA comes out with their penalties to address it all at one time instead of doing the Big Ten now and all that stuff. And the Big Ten wants things done now.
All right, Lane Kiffin was just on SportsCenter. Was asked about Michigan and sign stealing. I now feel like a total failure because we should have asked him about this Monday.
I'm so interested in what he says, by the way. for other reasons.
Quote, obviously they happen in games and coaches talk to each other, but that's a whole other animal, the accusations there, referring to the accusations regarding Michigan. That would dramatically change how you perform as a team and dramatically change what your record would be. I don't know any details of it, but those would be severe things if those were true. End quote.
Here's where I have a problem, Neal. And this is where I think the media in general have failed the public in all of this.
Okay.
Over and people I respect and people I like in the business, over and over and over and over again, keep talking about signal stealing. This is not about signal stealing. This is about sending people in advance to videotape it. That's the action, not the act. This part over here has nothing to do with it. And you know what's funny is I got ate up a little bit on what I said on this show about 3 weeks ago. And now these high reputable people in media are coming out saying this same fucking shit I said 3 weeks ago.
Which was what?
Is people tore me up. That's like, oh, that's not true. I said it 3 weeks ago that I was sent every single week by other teams in our league the signals of other teams. And now it's like some revelation that other teams in the Big Ten had Michigan signals. And they actually they posted the picture of the sheet today. I've been saying it for 3 weeks. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is not that big of a deal, the sign stealing part. You go send somebody to film it, big problem. I'm 100% agree. That's the problem. But stealing signals, every team in America does it.
I'm looking for a story. I'm listening to you. I realize that. I've tried to tell you this. I don't believe that my field. This is where there's a difference between sports media and the coaches, and coaches don't understand this, and media doesn't understand. I don't think my field really understands exactly what it is that we're talking about here. In the same way that sometimes I don't think when coaches get upset about a media thing that happens, I'm like, you don't understand what we do. There's a disconnect. I think we're in disconnect land right now.
Yeah, but that happens every single week. And then the point was that somebody said, well, yeah, we had Michigan signals too. And then they showed the sheet. I saw Ross retweeted it. I think it was Pat Forty and somebody else he said in the tweet. Yeah. Ross Dellinger tweeted about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So this is a story from Sports Illustrated. It's written by Pat Forty and Richard Johnson. Rivals decoded Michigan signals and shared them with another Big Ten team. 2 single-page documents obtained by Sports Illustrated listing detailed breakdowns of Michigan's deciphered signals were shared last season with the Big Ten schools set to face the Wolverines. That's what you were talking about weeks ago. I remember that.
Yeah.
A former Big Ten coach at a rival school in recent days forwarded to the Wolverines copies of 2 single-page documents listing Michigan's deciphered signals. 3 sources with knowledge of the situation confirmed to Sports Illustrated. The former Big Ten coach was a member of a staff that he said last season received, God, SI in their ads, man, received multiple detailed breakdowns of which signals corresponded to which play calls. He told Michigan, according to the sources, that the information had originally come from other Big Ten schools. That's not that big of a news story to me.
No, it's not. It's not. Including, and then for the people in the chat that like to give me shit, including while I worked for the University of Mississippi, other teams in the SEC sent us signals to help on the sideline on Saturdays, including working in Mississippi, including working in Alabama, including working in South Alabama, including working in Arkansas State, all of them.
That doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
So why are we writing stories about it and getting after people's ass about it?
I don't understand. I'm in the minority here. What is Michigan accused of doing? What is the cardinal sin here? They said, okay, let me walk through it. They sent people to the games and they videoed the signals.
Yes.
And the signs.
Yes. That's not good. That's
Why?
bad.
Why is that bad?
Because it's very specific in the NCAA rules that you're not allowed to do any kind of advanced scouting. That's very specific. There is nothing, absolutely zero, in the rule book about stealing signals on game day. But it's actually a rule that you cannot advance scout or send somebody in person to get signals, and you cannot use video equipment. You also can't use it, and it's against the rules. Do I agree with it? No, but it's against the rules. You can't video the other team. Like, you can't go in halftime and watch film. That's against the rules too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, you can't use video equipment. You can't take pictures. You can't take, what you can in the NFL. I don't understand the big deal of it, but it's a rule, and it creates a competitive advantage, and you can't do it. It's just things you can't do.
I would have thought that every school basically is breaking down film in the first half and watching a couple of things at halftime.
I mean, it would be great. It would help, but you can't. Not to say that I don't care, but I would like to do it too, but it's just not, you don't do it. You get together, you talk about what you've seen, you write it down, what you see, and draw shit up and go on about your deal. But that part is highly looked down upon.
Reading from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti's pursuit of potential penalties against Jim Harbaugh is the latest chapter in an ongoing saga that has gripped the college football world. Michigan 9-0, number 3 in the CFP rankings, travels to Penn State on Saturday for a top 10 meeting in what will be by far the Wolverines' toughest test of the year. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel is skipping out on his duties with the CFP committee this week so he can focus on the team's response to the investigation. Michigan sign stealing scheme, reported first on October 19th by Yahoo, is believed to be an elaborate multi-year endeavor to scout and record opponents' play call signals. At the center of the scheme is a former low-level analyst, blah, blah, blah. Stallions is believed to have used as many as 65 associates to scout games. While sign stealing is not against NCAA rules, scouting a future opponent's game is, as well as using a recording devices to document signals. Okay, so what's going to happen? And he's going to get suspended, and they're going to fight it.
Yes, which goes back to what we talked about last week. I think that's where it's going, because they're going to ban it. I mean, they're going to fight it. They've threatened to sue them in court. I mean, this is going to get drug out. But I can tell you this: don't take light that Ward Manuel did not go to Dallas.
No, I don't. Michigan,
he's there for something. They got to respond by tomorrow.
There are legal avenues available to the university and or Harbaugh. Those are clear. They can seek a temporary restraining order to prevent a suspension from taking effect. They're often filed for emergency purposes, ruled upon quickly. The granting of a TRO, temporary restraining order, could reinstate Harbaugh until a more permanent decision is made from the courts through a preliminary injunction. A similar court battle is unfolding in the case of the Pac-12, where Washington and Oregon State, blah, 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 you know the rest.
Yep.
So, okay, interesting. I mean, look, I don't live in that world, so I don't know what's considered cardinal sin, if you will.
Yeah, so it's just, but everybody keeps focusing on signal stealing. And that seems to be everybody's like, oh, I can't believe they do that. I've said it. I'm blue in the freaking face.
No, but I think that's a vernacular thing. I think most people generally understand that they filmed it from the crowd and then they took it and broke it down so that they knew they weren't stealing this. They weren't stealing signals or signs during the game. They already knew them from recording them, and that way they had it from play one.
All right, so I probably shouldn't be like this, but you know how we give life advice now that we're experts after doing it for one episode. I want to give some criminal advice. If you would like to break NCAA rules, here's mistake. Let me tell you where this whole thing went sideways. The whole thing went sideways. Is if you're going to break, allegedly, if you know the NCAA rules and you want to break them, and you decided, by gosh, it's going to give me an advantage to break the NCAA rules. Here's my common sense advice to you. Keep your circle small. I read an article. I need to find out who said it and give them credit, but I did read an article. There were over 60 people involved in this deal. Note to self, your ass is going to get busted at some point in time.
Yeah, because someone will talk.
Keep your circle small.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure the people in your circle have just as much to lose as you do. He broke both of those rules. Like, golly, man.
All right, so USC has made Alex Grinch the scapegoat, fired as the defensive coordinator. Does that have any impact on the rest of the Trojan season?
I mean, no. I mean, what's it going to do? They can't get much worse. only thing I'll say about this is we're that time of the year. Okay, we started talking about a little bit. We talked about a little with Jimbo earlier in the week and last week, that rumblings, and you got rumblings down in Starkville, and you got
Yeah,
he
those
gets
for
fired.
sure. Starkville's got big time rumblings today, bud.
We have not had any head coach firings, but I just would like to remind the fans that these are people, human beings with families. Look, because they can't call for it because they struggled in their last stop doesn't mean they're bad coaches, doesn't mean they're bad people. I try to leave the personal attacks out of it. Some of the stuff's just stupid. It's just he's a good dude. They struggled on defense mightily, and lost his job because of it. And doesn't mean he's not a good coach, just means it didn't work out. It's obviously worked out in previous stops or he wouldn't be where he's at now.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that stop. Just a bad deal all around, but it is what it is. It's part of the business, and he knew it when he signed up with it. And
oh yeah, well, he won't be the last. I mean, this is the chopping block month, so it's that time.
A little slower, as also predicted on the show.
Yeah, a little slower. The
NIL kind of.
I'll tell you the one I'm watching.
Affects that.
The one I'm watching a little bit after some things I heard yesterday is Mississippi State. That's got some steam to it. That's got speed to it.
Makes 0 sense.
Watching that one.
Did you hear the same names I heard?
I mean, I said them on the show
I didn't listen
this morning. The two names that popped up a lot yesterday were Willie Fritz, John Summerall.
Well, I know about the last one. That ain't happening. All right, let's talk about Willie Fritz. Why would you hire Willie Fritz? What is he known for?
I don't know, man. Offense, program building.
Say that again.
Offense.
No, the last
program building.
Program building. And two things. In what world? I mean, they didn't even give this guy a year. You're saying, hey, look, we don't even know if you can build a program or not because you haven't had a recruiting class.
All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate,
please,
just for the sake of it. Okay,
please,
for the sake,
I'm dying for some rationale.
For the sake of the devil's advocate, I'm gonna do it. I'm not dialed in at Mississippi State. I have no idea what's going on internally. Okay, let me put that out now. Their recruiting's falling apart. That is happening for sure. Well, it is. Their recruiting's falling apart.
They lost one kid.
No, they got multiple kids they're losing. Look, there's people over there that are absolute homers that are admitting that the recruiting's falling apart. So it's falling apart. They don't have NIL, and their recruiting's falling apart. That being said, but I'm doing this for devil's advocate. I wouldn't know Zach Arnett if he walked in the door. I guess I've seen him enough that I'd have a clue that might be Zach Arnett. If you being the decision makers at a school, in this case Mississippi State, if you know this doesn't work, in your plums, if you will, that this doesn't work, you make the move. Now, here's the next question. So, again, I mean, use a baseball analogy. My team, the Chicago Cubs, made a move yesterday. It said two things. It said everything that I've always said about coaching searches got covered in one day. They said, okay, we really don't believe that David Ross can take us to the World Series. Doesn't matter whether you think they can or other. They don't believe that David Ross can take them to the World Series. And then there was the most important part is there was somebody available that they thought could, and they could get that person, and they did. So they hired Craig Counsell. So Mississippi State, in this case, has a twofold question to answer. One, do you believe Zach Arnett's the guy for your program? Because if you don't, there's no point in giving him 3 more years. There's no point in giving him more time. If you believe that it won't work, if that's what you believe and you're paid to make those decisions, and you believe this doesn't work, there's no reason to give it another day. But the next part of that equation is, okay, but the moment you let him go, it's next. Who's next? Can the next person come in and do it? Because otherwise, if you bring that person in and they flounder as well, now you just cost yourself a bunch of money and you're doing this again. And at some point you become a clown show. And they're not far from that. They fired Moorhead quickly. Leach was there for a while, but insiders know they were getting impatient with Leach. Unfortunately, he passed away. God rest his soul. And now Zach Arnett's had less than a year.
So the answer my whole point to the whole drill is the answer is let's go. We haven't given anybody time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hire a guy that requires time. Now, how much fucking sense does that make?
I don't know. And then if I'm Willie Fritz,
I mean,
if I'm Willie Fritz, the only reason I'm taking Mississippi State is because it's going to be a massive pay raise.
Don't blame Willie Fritz.
No,
if I'm Willie Fritz, that's who they got to hire. You're not going to hire anybody, anyone. Okay. Note to self. Okay. He could take a little advice and somebody actually knows what's going on here. Okay. You're not hiring anyone under the age of 55 for this job. Write it down.
Okay. So I'm playing devil's advocate. If John Sumrall's offered,
not taking it.
Hold on. If John Sumrall's offered $5 million a year,
wouldn't take
on
it.
A guaranteed deal.
Why would he take it?
Oh, I'm with you. But
so he can get fired 3 years later?
That's a lot of money. It's generational money. I mean, he's not making $5 million a year at Troy. Because I've always said this. He's going to walk into his house at some point, and he and his wife, I don't know his wife's name. I'm sure she's lovely. Jenny.
She's awesome.
I'm sure she is. When they have a conversation, John's making what at Troy right now?
Right at $1 million.
Okay. Making $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, they're offering us what? 5. It's 4 more million a year. They have children. That's money. Gosh, John, that's money that could go a long way. It could set us up for a long time. And every coach I know believes he's going to win. I don't know one coach who goes into it like, hey, I don't know, man. So if he goes, you know what, I think I could do it there. Now, I know John well enough, and I know his specifics well enough to know that he's probably got his eye on another couple of jobs that are pretty realistic. Willie Fritz takes this job. Here's the thing with Willie. He's making 2.5. He's about to take Tulane back potentially to another Access Bowl. 2 years in a row at Tulane? Incredible. They'll probably bump him past 3. He's got it set there. He's 62?
He is in his early 60. Yeah, that's about right. It's close.
Give or take a year.
Yeah, it's right there.
61 to 63. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tulane's not running him in the next 5 years. He's set.
No, again, if you're over 55 years old, it's your last job. Go. When you're in your late 30s, early 40s, you get one shot. One shot. Okay, and here's the difference. And this is where talking about disconnect, there's a huge disconnect with the whole coaching world has already changed. Coaches already know. Question number 1 is not, hey, tell me about your recruiting base and they've won here in the past and they've done this. Hey, what's in your war chest over there?
Yes.
That's question 1.
100%.
Okay, so that's
frankly,
what
it's
makes
question 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's what makes an attractive job. What's the most unattractive job in American FBS right now?
Vanderbilt.
If Vanderbilt, yeah, that's pretty bad. I thought you was going to say Monroe.
All right. I was thinking Power 5.
Any job.
I mean, in all of FBS, all jokes aside, the worst probable job is Monroe.
Okay, if Monroe,
but God, we're right there.
Anyway, right there. But if Monroe had $20 million of NIL and we're paying their coach $5 million a year, do you know the list of people that would be lined up to take that job?
Well, it would obviously change the trajectory of the program. They would immediately become the power of the Sun Belt.
It changes everything.
Sure.
And so it's not what it used to be, which was, man, that's a nice place to live. They've won there in the past. It's in a good recruiting base. I can go win there. It's not that anymore. That part has changed amongst coaches. It's totally changed. It's what can we do here and based on the NIL. Okay, Group of 5 is totally different because 99.9% of Group of 5 jobs, that's what college football used to be. Okay, that's where what kind of recruiting base do we got? Because nobody has NIL money. But when you're talking about the big boy jobs, the Power 5 jobs, hey, how much resources? Because I get one shot at this. Because if John goes as good of a coach as John is, okay, because Zach Arnett is a good football coach too. He is. And when, just like you said yesterday, if they
just hasn't proven it as a head coach the way John has
he had time? He has not had one single recruiting class.
But I go back to what I said a minute ago. This isn't about Johnson. This isn't about Zach Arnett or Mississippi State or anything else. I'm just simply saying, if you believe, and I think this is what they believe, that they made a mistake and that they shouldn't have done what they did and that they acted hastily and they should have hired a more proven head coach to navigate these waters. There's no point in going, all right, but we did it, so let's just roll. No, you screwed up. You eat it.
Yeah. Well, I just as much as I can disagree with them firing somebody, I couldn't disagree more with them firing him right now with not having a. You're going to go if you're talking about hiring Willie Fritz, and that's the guy. Love Willie, think he's a hell of a ball coach, but he's a program builder.
Yeah.
It took him time there. So you're going to take a coach knowing that that's the job because your NIL is low. So you're going to have to go develop players. So now you're saying, hey, look, here's what we're really going to do. We only gave this guy 9 months, but by God, let me tell you what we're going to do with the next guy. We're going to give him 9 years. It's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. And so we're going to get into this cycle of just hitting the reset button because you know what's going to happen in 2 years when he hasn't rebuilt it? They're going to fire his ass too. And here we go again. And at the end of the day, we can keep hiring and firing coaches, and we can keep being a graveyard, or you can go raise money for NIL and get it done right. And if you don't do it,
but some of these programs, Tyler, this is what I've tried to tell you before, and you know this. Some of these programs, they don't know how to look in the mirror. It's a very common thing.
It's frustrating.
It's a very common thing. Mississippi State is saying, "Well, look at what Ole Miss has done. Those bastards are about to win 10 games in a single season for the second time in 3 years." They go, look at Missouri. Missouri used to suck, and now they're a win over Tennessee away from 10-2.
Mm-hmm. What do both of those programs have in common?
They have great NIL, but that's not my point. That's not my point. You're missing my point. This is where I've learned that this is a problem in a lot of athletic administrations. They have an inability to look in the mirror and go, I am kind of fat.
I have that problem too.
They look in the mirror and go, if I turn the lights down to just here, I look okay.
I've seen that.
You've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not reality.
No.
They don't like those are the people that when the cameras people come and hey, can we get a picture of you? No, I don't want to be in the picture. Because deep down they know I'm not going to like what I see. I'm going to have to face that. And they don't. So they don't. And I think State's one of those schools. State liked it the old way. And the old way's so gone. It is so gone.
Like
and less than 2 hours
gone.
And less than 2 hours away, you've still got Alabama less than 2 hours away, one of the top 5 programs in the country, unquestionably. And now 2 hours up the road, less than 2 hours actually, you can be from Oxford to Starkville in an hour and 45 minutes. You've got what Lane's done, what Ole Miss has done, which is all in on NIL. And they look around and they're like, well, we should be able to do that. But you're not being honest with yourself. That's where they are. They're in that stage where I've been there. I'm a fat guy. I used to be a really fat guy.
Yeah, fat.
And I look in the mirror and I'm like, well, it's not so bad. I'd have people go, you could carry 225, okay? And I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I could, And then you look at it and you're like, no, I need to lose the weight. Losing weight's no fun. For State, reality's no fun. Reality of we've got to change everything about the way we do this. And there's a possibility that we can't do it like that. There's a possibility that we're going to have to go look at some other programs that are like us and study how they do it and emulate it that way. And it's not going to be nearly as sexy. Kansas State is not nearly as sexy as Texas, but they're effective. They're effective. And that's where they have to decide. Iowa State is not nearly as sexy as Ohio State, but they've learned how to be effective. It's hard.
Yeah. And you know how they did it? They had coaches that
were
pre-NIL and built it up and developed it from before pre-NIL. I don't know if there's a single coach, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the last 2 years, who has taken over a Power 5 program that doesn't have NIL, a new coach in the new era.
I know.
And succeeded.
But again, I'm just telling you, so they're going to be fall guys for it. And Zach's going to get paid a bunch of money if they fire him. They're going to pay him $4.5 million. He'll go land a defensive coordinator job, and he and the Arnett family will be just fine. But Mississippi State's going to find out that the moment you run him out the building,
it's not his problem anymore.
It's not his problem anymore. It's why the first thing I said yesterday when the Cubs fired Ross and hired Counsell, cool. Still got to go buy players. Still got to go get players.
But at the end of the day, going back to what we said at the beginning, I'm 100%. If they decide to do this, they're not getting anybody that's young and upcoming. This is not what it used to be.
That's
10 years, and they may think that.
That's what they think, and that's what's going to be interesting. That will be literally in December when we're doing this show. We will be talking about this topic because what they believe, and history has proven them to be right in the past. History has proven them to be right in the past. What they believe is if we throw enough money at one of these young guys, they'll take it. Because in the past, they've taken it. Because it ultimately leads to the kitchen table conversation between a husband and a wife where she says, I don't know how we turn down that kind of money. What if your quarterback gets hurt next year? What if you have a bunch of injuries and instead of going 10-2, you go 6-6, and now nobody's talking about you? We should strike and get the money, babe. And then they talk themselves into, Dan Mullen won there. Jackie Sherrill won there. We could do it too. And next thing you know, you're in it. And you're ringing a cowbell in a press conference. Happens all the time. So I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm saying here's what they think.
Yeah, well, they can wish in one hand and shit in the other one and see which one fills up.
We'll see. We'll see.
So
we'll see.
If like I heard Rhett Lashley, somebody said something about Rhett Lashley to me yesterday.
Yeah, his name pops up.
Okay, so
and he's at a place where
I'm going to leave the place that just raised $100 million in 13 days to go. That's now going to the ACC to go to and I'm in Dallas, and I'm going to go to Starkville and have to play in the SEC every week and no NIL. Let me weigh that for a second. Thanks, but no thanks. That's not even a decision. It's not even a decision.
Yeah.
Like, that blows my mind. Well, who does that? Would you do that? Would you leave SMU to go to Mississippi State?
No.
Now, 5 years ago?
Sure. I'm not sure I'd leave Tulane to go to Mississippi State right now.
Again, this is an age thing for me. I'm with you. If this is my last rodeo, dude, I'm out of here anyway in 5 or 6 years. Let me take my check. Now I see it as a check.
Sure.
When you're 40 years old or you're 38, 39, 40 years old,
100%.
and you got another 20 years left, I'm not going to go, you're throwing away more money.
Yeah.
You're robbing from Peter to pay Paul.
I mean, all I'm saying is Tulane might give Willie 3.25, 3.5, and now I'm a legend. They give 2.5 right now.
2.5?
2.5. 2 straight access bowls?
They could probably make it work.
They built that stadium. They get big crowds in it now. People are excited.
Talking about a place that's come a long way.
He's a legend. I mean, he's untouchable.
Yeah, they'd be stretching it, but
probably pretty comfortable in New Orleans. Probably likes it. He's probably not. Probably living pretty good. I have to think about it before I jumped out of. You talk about jumping out of a pretty comfortable situation straight into a frying pan.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
In my opinion, that job is not going to change. We can put in Nick Saban can go be the coach at Alabama. That job is not going to change until they get NIL money.
All right, last thing before we get into some games, because we're running a little long. James Madison, they're appealing. I saw where the commissioner of their league said that if they can be successful, they can play in the conference championship game. They're 9-0 right now, but ineligible because of the whole move up a level thing.
It's a 2-year ban or whatever. They're in year 2. Like, of all the things, you can talk to me about not deeming kids eligible because it protects the double transfer process and the integrity. I can listen to you. What does ban? What their whole reasoning for putting the whole ban in is to prevent other teams, over amount of teams, from joining, trying to make the move to Division I. Well, they've made the move. They're beating the teams. I don't understand. They don't have any kind of competitive advantage. Let them freaking play, man.
Yeah.
Let them go. Like, of all the stuff that we let go on in the NCAA, and this is the hill we're going to die on. I mean, this is a great team, man.
Yeah.
Have you watched them play?
Yes.
I mean, they're good.
They're very good.
And they're arguably the best team in Group of 5. I'd probably pick them over Tulane in a head-up football game.
God, he does have the dust flying. Look at that over there. What's he doing?
I told you, dude.
Just flying.
I thought I was coming. You see all that?
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Like clouds of dust.
Yeah. It's like
you think we live in like West Texas right now.
You thought I was joking. I mean, it was nuts coming down. I mean, I saw it from the highway. It's like smoke signals.
He's scalping that yard.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here with your leaves bagged up in your corner of yours.
I'm a good guy. I bagged them myself.
Mine are in the drain.
I listened to Joe Rogan and Elon Musk for 3 hours.
Oh, but that was interesting.
It was fascinating. No matter what you think of Rogan and Musk, they're both super smart people. Musk is like incredibly smart.
Yeah, he's on a different planet.
Yeah, and
maybe literally from a different planet.
It was pretty interesting to listen to them talk for 3 hours.
He's borderline.
And they talked about everything. Like they get into this big thing about jiu-jitsu and stuff that was bizarre.
Yeah. All right, Neal.
Then he talked about how you have to land rockets. He got into the physics of landing rockets, because his rockets, they don't just send them off and they get their stuff and explode. He brings them back. Yeah. And he was talking about the physics of the Earth's rotation and how close you are to the equator, and it was wild.
So he's not a flat earther.
Clearly not. No, he was talking about but it was one of those humbling moments. I have every other Wednesday, Josh Hendrickson sits right there, and I have a humbling moment where I'm like, God, I'm really stupid. The whole time, people are like, what are you thinking when you're talking to Josh? I'm like, I'm really stupid. Man, I'm really stupid. But listening to Musk, it was wild. Like
that's why you have me in here. That's why you have me in here to make you feel
balance
smarter.
It out.
Balance it out.
The closer you are to the equator, the faster the Earth is moving.
Say that again.
The closer it is to the equator, the faster the Earth moves.
Okay.
The further away to the poles is different.
Okay.
And so when you're landing, he was talking about why he built SpaceX, where he built it. They built it like in the middle of nowhere, Texas. It's because ideally you would put it on the Florida Peninsula.
Okay.
The Panhandle Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
But with the exception of Cape Canaveral, which is government owned, everything else on the eastern seaboard of the Florida Peninsula is residential. It's covered. There is no plot of land.
No.
So they had to seek something else. That's why they picked Texas.
Okay. Makes sense. I think no state taxes in Texas either. Probably had something to do with it.
He said it didn't. He said it had to be about physics, and they couldn't build it anywhere where part of it wouldn't be in the U.S. territory, because then you would get into the taxes and tariffs, and you can't do it because rockets are technically an intercontinental ballistic whatever. And so because of that, he wouldn't be able to do what he wanted to do. So it had to all be in American territory. He couldn't stretch into Mexico, for example. It was really interesting.
Yeah. I've seen clips of the show. I just haven't listened to the show.
Yeah.
All right, Neal. Hey, in the Cooper Chevrolet chat, ST Weasel wants y'all to hit the like button so he'll stop spamming.
Please hit the like button.
Please hit the like button for him. All right.
Let's jump into some games this weekend.
All right, I got these in order of TV time here, Neal.
Okay.
The Alabama Crimson Tide is favored by 10.5 heading to Lexington, Kentucky this week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people saying this could be a sleepy game for Alabama. Agree or disagree?
At this point, I kind of disagree. It's late in the year. They know what they're playing for. They're in the national title mix. They can't screw up. They lose one more game to anybody. Doesn't matter who. They're not going to be in the playoff. So, no, this is a playoff game for them.
I agree. I think Kentucky's good enough to get their attention as well. It's not like they're going to have to, I don't know. I kind of like this game. I think it goes. I think they beat them more than that.
I would lay the points.
Yeah. I like Alabama on the road in Lexington. In the probably least watched SEC game in the history of SEC games, Vanderbilt's traveling to South Carolina, and South Carolina is laying 13.5 points against the Commodores. I mean, Neal, if you told me they won one, this has got to be it, man. But I'm not watching it, nor am I betting it.
No. Now, if you told me this came down to an effort deal, my money would be on Vandy.
Yeah, I don't think
Carolina doesn't look right. I know everybody goes, well, last year. Yeah, they don't look like last year right now.
They have two good players, quarterback and Leggett. I mean, that's who they got. And they make it work, and I'm sure he'll be able to throw it over the top of some guys at Vandy. Vandy's who they are. They're not very good on offense. They get after your ass on defense a little bit, but they're not very good talented. Clark Lee's Clark Lee, but who is watching this game? I have no idea.
No, not me.
Moms and dads only. All right, game I'm actually excited to watch. Tennessee is taking on Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if you were aware of this, but Como, Missouri is one of the, contrary to popular beliefs, is one of the most difficult places to play in this league.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so Tennessee has quietly, and I say quietly because they lose to Georgia, lose to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Not Georgia. They lose to Alabama.
They got Georgia next week.
They got Georgia next week. So they haven't played Georgia yet.
Tennessee's stumble was Florida.
They lose to Florida. They've struggled on the road a little bit.
I'll just tell you, I love Missouri here. I know you. I think you like Tennessee. I love Missouri here.
I like Tennessee if they played in a parking lot in Bristol. My only concern is this is played in Como, because where does Tennessee struggle? They struggle on the road.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee's a better football team, but when they get on the road, things just they just act weird. I don't even know. I'm probably going to stay away from this game. Just because it's being played in Como. If this game's in Knoxville, it's a 14-point game. I think Missouri's, they left a lot of juice in Athens last week.
Yeah.
All right. In a game whose line probably changed because of the outcome of last week, Arkansas is hosting the Auburn Tigers. Arkansas is favored by 3, Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at on this one? I need to go get your Houston Nut hat.
I'm leaning to Auburn in the points.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not.
You think it was a one-time thing?
No, I'm not ready to completely go all in. I told you last week that I was a little concerned on the Florida that, number one, Florida lost because they wore those uniforms. That's awful.
That's it.
But number two, I did think Arkansas was going to get a bump. I thought they were going to get a interim bump. Just happens. It's human nature. An interim bump. They did not like Danny Enos. They were not him personally. They did not like that offense. It was painful for them to run. And they went back to something more comfortable, and they had a couple of weeks to work on it. And so I think they got a bump there. And then Florida didn't exactly know what to expect. He'd never coordinated an offense before. So this week, Auburn's got the film. Auburn's going to be a little more prepared. I don't think Auburn's particularly good. They've won a couple of games against bad teams, and everybody's like, "Woo, look at Auburn." It's like, no, they beat Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. Chill. But Arkansas's not a whole lot better than either one of those teams, if any better. I saw Arkansas play Mississippi State in person. They lost. If you told me Arkansas won and covered, I'm not particularly surprised. But if you made me bet this game and I would not bet it, I think I'd take Auburn in the points.
Kind of the same way. It's a really big game for both programs. Obviously, Sam Pittman needs it for hiring and firing purposes, and Hugh needs it for momentum.
It's a big game for Pittman.
Yeah,
it's a big game. He's put himself in a spot where he can save himself.
Yeah,
because here's the deal.
It requires?
Here's the deal. Hunter Yurchek does not want to fire Sam Pittman. Okay, he doesn't. He's the opposite of what's going on in Starkville, where they really kind of want to make him the bad guy and just.
They 4-6 or?
No, they're 3-6.
3-6. Okay, so he's got to have this one.
He needs it. I mean, the two losses that are killing Sam Pittman right now are BYU at home and Mississippi State at home. Otherwise, see, this was crazy, right? You win those two games, and they could have easily won them both. You win those two games, and the narrative is, well,
you're 5-4.
You're 5-4. Kind of sucks that you lost to A&M, but you lost at Alabama, I don't have these in the right order. Yeah. At Alabama, at Ole Miss, and at LSU. 3 ranked teams, 2 top 10 teams, by a total of 13 points, all on the road. You could make the argument, I don't know if I would buy it, you could make the argument that, hey, he's not that far away. He's certainly respectable. And then he could beat Auburn, beat FIU, and he goes into the Missouri game 7-4. Well, he's good. He's gold.
Yeah.
Because he's got a chance to get to 8 wins. 8 wins they're happy there.
Right.
7 wins, most people are happy there. 7 wins, you're going to what? Music City Bowl, something like that. Liberty Bowl. You're going to play in a bowl game, whatever. Their basketball team's really good. It's good. You're good. He loses to Auburn, 3-7. Best you can do is 5-7. Realistically, you're going to go 4-8, 1-7. I don't know. And then you get back into the same conversation I had a minute ago. Who can you get? Who can you get?
Well, it's more attractive than the other one.
It is more attractive. But now look, they've got to address NIL. And
That's
this
my
is
question
this is Pittman's problem. So Pittman's problem is twofold. One, he's got to win more. And two, Tyler, he's got to change his stance on NIL. He's got to quit doing this. I don't want to talk about that. That's not what our program's about. Hey, champ.
Has he been vocal about that?
They've all been that way about all of it, except Musselman quietly going out and raising a bunch of NIL money.
Well, look, they got money now.
There is money, but you have to actualize the money.
Yeah. Well, that's better than the other place.
Yes, most definitely.
Because the other place doesn't have the place to go actualize it.
Most definitely. So you've got to hire somebody there who can go market. And I think Saturday is a critical day for Sam Pittman. I think he can save himself with the win. I think he can survive 5-7.
Doesn't 5-7 trigger the extra $5 million on the buyout?
Yeah, but
is that true?
So, well, some people say legally because of the COVID year, that doesn't really apply. I don't know. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think if it bottomed out and they said, "Hey, this doesn't work," I think they'd reach some sort of an agreement, whatever. Because he has said this is his last coaching job.
Yeah. How old is he?
I guess he's 60.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Auburn needs it too, because if Auburn can get this one, then they get New Mexico State, and then you're 7-4, and you lose
to Alabama, and Hughes 7-5. He can go, "Hey, we had a good year. We're close."
Yeah.
Loses to Arkansas. 6-6 doesn't float the same way 7-5 does.
7-5, I feel, would show, especially winning them in a row. And then, hey, playing tough against Alabama at home, which they're going to do, regardless of the records. That's just what happens in that game.
I'm curious to see how old Sam Pittman is.
7-5 probably gets him puts everybody in a good mood.
Sam is 61.
Okay, that's about right.
He makes $6 million a year.
Hey, Neal. What do you think that pregame speech is going to be like versus Alabama if Hugh is 7-4 and won 4 straight going into the game against Alabama at home?
Probably will depend on who writes it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he can get a certain Sunbelt coach to write his speech for a day. If he does, they could probably they can film it and market it for a couple of years.
Cole, don't clip this.
If Hugh writes it himself, I doubt it'll be all that inspirational.
All right, Neal, there's another game. Moving on. There is another game, Neal.
By the way, if you're betting this, I just pulled this up. Arkansas has lost yet another tight end for the season. The good news for them is Andrew Armstrong, who got hurt in the Florida game, looks like he's going to be okay to play against Auburn.
Okay. The Ole Miss Rebels. There's kind of a big game going on this weekend in this league. Biggest game of the week, in my opinion, in the league, even though it's a 6 o'clock. I like the 6 o'clock start for the road games.
This is one of the 2 biggest games in the country.
Yeah.
The 2 biggest games in the country are Michigan at Penn State, Ole Miss at Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia is favored by 10.5. This game, I've looked at this game a good bit. This game is going to be I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, Neal. I
do too.
Look.
There are people at Georgia that think this is going to be a track meet.
Which favors Ole Miss in a track meet.
No doubt.
A lot of people, I feel bad that I didn't mention this yesterday. Dude, Trey Harris Saturday was uncoverable. We can talk about the offensive line play. I'm mad at myself. I didn't bring this up.
He made himself a lot of money on Saturday.
He literally he won the game. He damn near won the thing by himself.
Yeah,
he was uncoverable.
He had a huge game.
Uncoverable. Like there was nothing they could do. You had no chance. Close your eyes and throw that bitch to 9 and listen for the crowd.
I will say this. When he has been healthy and played, their offense has been very difficult to stop.
He was uncoverable. That was as dominating of a performance as a wide receiver can do in a game.
He did not play against Alabama.
Yeah, it was.
And it showed.
Yeah. He made all the difference in the world. If you don't have Trey Harris in that game, you lose the game. Very simple. He is that important. And
agreed, 100%.
And he is going to be very important in this game.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing that's why I think Ole Miss will score. I think they, with him in the game and the things that you're having to do coverage-wise against him, I think helps the running game. It helps to keep pressure because nobody wants to run. Here was the and I wish I'd have talked about this more yesterday, but the interesting thing for me in the Texas A&M game is Ole Miss went empty. They moved Trey to the slot, and Durkee wanted to pressure. And so when he was pressuring, he's had to play man coverage on Trey. They could throw the slant until he puked because nobody could cover him.
Right.
It was funny when they actually tried to throw the Jordan Watkins. The play was getting defended, and Jordan's good.
Yeah.
And so in the second half, Texas A&M came out and started playing a little bit more zone coverage instead of man. Started doing some simulated pressures, and then Ole Miss was able to run the ball. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And Georgia's not great against the run this year.
Yeah,
they're good.
They're good.
But they're not great.
They're still the number one defense in the league. They took that spot over. They're still good. They still got guys.
No, they're very
good. That's going to be how do they keep Trey? Because I think every other receiver Ole Miss has is good, but they're pedestrian. They're like everybody else. Trey Harris is different. How do they stop Trey Harris and at the same time defend the run? That's going to be what they got to do on defense. Georgia on offense is the number 2, I think, 2 or 3 offense in the league now. They're good too on offense. The thing that you're going to see, I think, a lot is some 12 personnel stuff against Ole Miss. And you're going to get formation. You're going to create extra gaps. And you're going to force Ole Miss to leverage runs and fit runs the right way. Outside zone is going to be a big play for them.
Georgia's second in the SEC in total offense.
Second.
LSU's first. Ole Miss is third.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia is number 1 in the SEC in total defense.
Ole Miss is 7th. Is that right?
Ole Miss is 11th
in total defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Georgia, then Texas A&M, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Florida, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. Now, for context, it's very close. The fall off is between Ole Miss and LSU. LSU's 12, Vanderbilt's 13, South Carolina's 14.
I swear I saw something yesterday or day said they were 7th.
Staring at it.
Yeah, I know. That's why
you might be looking at scoring defense.
Okay.
Scoring defense, Georgia's number 1, and Ole Miss is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, that's probably exactly what I was looking at now.
And scoring offense, Georgia's 2, Ole Miss is 3.
Yeah.
And it's very close. Georgia scores 39.33 points a game. Ole Miss scores 38.78.
Yeah. Georgia's found a little something since Brock Bowers has been out there having to give the ball to other guys. They got good. I mean, they're good everywhere, dude. And Beck's the real deal. I like him. I just think this is going to be a shootout. I really do. I think Ole Miss, Lane will have a plan. I mean, he knows Kirby's. There's no secrets here, right? Kirby knows what Lane's going to do. Lane knows what Kirby's going to do. I think it's going to be. It's in this, in my opinion, for Ole Miss to win, Trey Harris has to be the same kind of factor this week that he was last week. I think if Trey Harris is neutralized, this game could get not so good for the Ole Miss standpoint. But if he has a really good game and can dictate the pace of the game, what he can do at receiver, if they can get explosive plays with Trey Harris, this game, it's going to be a game now. It's going to be. I'm excited to watch it and see how they do that because he's good, dude. He is good.
Yeah, the more I talk to people, the more I, from a betting standpoint, lean to Ole Miss plus the points.
That's a lot of points, dude. Again, for Georgia to cover, it would have to be Trey Harris would have to be a complete non-factor in the game. I think if they can take him out of the game, that's their path to victory, right?
The question for them is, can you take him out of the game while still slowing down the run?
Right.
Because sure, you can go commit 3 people to him and take him out of the game, but can you then stop the run?
It just that's how when he's in the game, dude, you struggle because what can you do?
Yeah,
you can't because if you every bracket you put on his ass, that's one less in the box. Florida's at LSU this week. I think it's a lot of points.
I do too. It's a lot of points.
How's Daniels?
It's LSU. Where's LSU's mental state?
Yeah,
because it's done now.
It's a lot. That was a lot left.
It's done now.
Yeah, so it's a lot of points.
But now,
same thing with Florida, right?
Yeah. Hey, he gets a little. He's fine. These next couple of weeks are going to determine whether he goes in the next season fine or not.
Hey, you remember what I said a few weeks ago about remember what everybody's saying about Billy right now? That's why I said that. I said, just remember what y'all said about Billy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because you just remember it when these next couple of weeks come up. It's a rough stretch, brother. It's rough.
Yeah, and that stretch was not supposed to include a loss to Arkansas at home.
Yeah, it's rough, brother.
Yeah.
It's rough.
That's the part of that right there is the part of the job at a place like State, not to pile on State, but like there's just no, there's no gimme.
No.
There's no gimme. I mean, Florida looks at that schedule 100 times and goes, Arkansas at home, dub. Arkansas at home, dub. Then you get Arkansas on a 6-game losing streak coming to our place, dub. And then it's not a dub. And you're like, well, shit, now what? Got to go to LSU.
Yeah.
That's the SEC.
Yeah. You literally, it's minus one team. You're pretty much guaranteed.
It's Missouri. Hey, go play your ass off in Athens. Done. Now what? Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee's looking at the end. Missouri's looking at the end of the schedule going, at Arkansas. Dub. No, it's going to be senior night, and they're going to play their ass off.
Yeah.
You got to answer. You got to answer all the time. It's just hard.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia, as good as they are, Georgia had Florida.
It's hard.
Came home and played Missouri. Now they got Ole Miss. And next week you got Tennessee.
At Tennessee.
Yeah,
you still got Alabama. I mean.
Hey, don't forget Georgia Tech in there, too.
Yeah. It's rough sledding. It's hard. It's what, I mean, if Georgia wins 3 in a row, if they walk out of this season 3 in a row, I mean, tip the biggest hat you got. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
Georgia. Yeah. If they win 3 titles in a row, this schedule,
the way done.
I mean, it's Minnesota did it in the 20s.
It doesn't count.
Exactly. It's so hard. If they can run this
before Prohibition.
If they run this table, that's remarkable.
And no doubt, I mean, dude, they're
so remarkable.
Yeah. Let me tell you where he does a good job, and it's really where Nick. I mean, that's where he got it from. You know how we talk about, hey, they got to get up this week, or the emotional letdown and things like that. We talk about that a lot, right?
Yeah, they don't.
They're up. Those programs don't do it because the game in itself. Well, so I don't want to make it sound like the game in itself is a day off every single week, regardless of your opponent.
There's an intensity to practice that makes game day a relief.
There's an intensity to Tuesday in March that makes game day a relief.
I don't want to give it away because I've got a Oxford Exxon podcast special edition at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 guests coming up on it. It's going to be one of the better ones we've done. But I talked to Roddy Nabulsi, who covers Georgia for Rivals. Roddy's awesome.
Great dude.
And he told a Kirby Smart.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Great dude.
Great.
Roddy's awesome.
Great stud.
He told a story about this August with Georgia. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
You listen to the show though.
I will.
I'll
be tuned in for that one.
You'll really enjoy it, and it gives you a glimpse into the preparation that happens there.
Yeah. But that's what he's doing there, and they don't view this as it's a letdown. I heard you say it the other day is don't give them any motivation. They don't need any of that, but if they get it, they'll use it too. All right, Neal. In the last game that night, Mississippi State at Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is going to be light at the quarterback spot.
I do too.
That's a lot. That's a lot of points won, but I'm looking at the under on this game.
Okay.
For Thursday. He got hit a lot. I think he's got some issues. So
he looked like he had rib issues.
All right, before we get to life advice, Neal,
let's just run through them fast.
The one, really, I was just going to go over one of them.
One. Michigan
and Penn State.
Michigan minus 4.5 at Happy Valley. Lot going on.
I don't know what to think about this game. I've tried. I've looked at it. And here's why. Who has Michigan played that's challenged them? So are they that good that nobody's challenged them? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, they looked the part.
They look the part. But nobody's they haven't played anybody that you'd say, hey, man, that team.
No, for sure.
And then Penn State's played 1. They played Ohio State.
Yeah.
They lose by 7 on the road. And so at least they've had the one game of being battle tested. Now you have them at home.
There's a part of me, honestly, that actually kind of loves this game.
On which side?
I kind of love the Penn State side.
because of all the shit going on.
I just think at some point the distraction gets you.
Yeah.
And Penn State at home at night, that place gets loud, and they're different at home.
I think it's an 11 o'clock game now.
Oh, you're right. That's the big noon Saturday.
Yeah. They're lucky.
Still.
I mean, it's going to be juiced.
The only thing about Penn State, and I love the kid because he has a great story. Drew Alar has a great story. I just watch him play, and I'm like, he just can't quite get you there.
He's young.
He is, but I'm talking about right now, Saturday. Do I believe that he can go step up against that Michigan defense and go do it? And I'm not sure.
And Penn State softy on defense too. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a great game.
No, it's a great game.
I'm truly struggling with.
I think Saturday is going to be a really fun day of football. Yeah. I really do. I think you're going to get those 11 o'clock games that are kind of fun. The middle of the day is kind of whatever, but I think Tennessee, Missouri is going to be an entertaining football game. And look, I do think Ole Miss and Georgia are going to put up a show.
Yeah. So the Michigan Penn State game, I want to pick a side on this one. I've been actually looked at it really hard. I just don't, Neal. I don't know. I don't know what Michigan do. Quickly, Miami at Florida State. Heads up if you're in Tallahassee on upset alert on that one.
Yeah, Miami could pull it off.
I don't think they will. They lost last week to NC State. NC State's quietly getting things together. Utah at Washington. Keep your eyes open on this one.
I love this one.
If this game was in Utah, I would lean Utah to cover the points. Washington helps it. They were obviously invested in that game last week to the point to where Caleb Williams wasn't the only one crying. Michael Penix Jr. was crying after the game too. I mean, it was an emotional deal for them to beat USC.
I don't know that Utah can exploit some of Washington's defensive issues, and I don't know that Washington's offense can be slowed down in Seattle.
If you looked at it though, here's the only thing: Washington's defense is bad, dude.
It is. It's bad.
And Utah's offense is not great.
No, it's pretty shaky.
Utah's defense pretty good.
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
It's okay.
It's not great. It's not bad.
It's okay.
It's just a notch above average.
Washington's offense is elite.
They are 100%. 9.5 points there on that. And then the game I'm most interested in, USC and Oregon. This game, Oregon, I'm so interested to see if Oregon comes out and just beats them by 7
They're going to. They're going to try to win Bo Nix the Heisman on Saturday.
Might do it. He might have the numbers to do it.
They're going to try to with Caleb Williams on the field. They're going to try to win Bo Nix the Heisman.
It'll be interesting. All right, Neal. Do you know what time it is?
It's life advice time.
It's time for Scoops and Joker.
Yeah,
I might need to go get the mask on this one.
All right.
I'm going to keep a straight face today, though. You can't mention names, by the way.
I know. I'm not mentioning names.
And while he's pulling this up,
I'm ready.
Make sure if you do have life advice questions you'd like for us to address at the end of the show, send them direct messages to, we got on Twitter's open, TikTok's open, Instagram's open. Send that. We get them. We will not mention your name, and we'll cover your topic.
Here it is. So there's this girl I like, and she's really great. We've been talking about maybe being a little more official for the past few days. Here's the problem with why I'm hesitant to go that far just yet. I am deathly allergic to cats, and she has 2 of them. I told her as soon as I found out about her cats that I was allergic. I told her that I don't want to make her decide between me and the cats because that's not fair to her. However, I also don't want to waste her time, so I need to know if I can handle being around those cats for the long haul. I'd love advice because I feel that we could get something good out of this. Also, again, I really like her, and I want to see this work. I just legitimately, I'm trying to find my spot. I just legitimately can't be around cats. What should I do? Thanks again. For the record, I haven't been around her cats in person yet. She always kind of hides them from me. I've been a little sick. All right.
You want to go or you want me to go first?
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
All right. I need a little more information that I'm not going to get for this.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, I need a picture. I just do. Let's be real. Men are visual. I need to see who we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Is this worth a lifetime of Claritin? Is this worth always feeling kind of crummy? Is it worth it? And then I need a picture of you, to be honest, because I need to know what ballpark we're working in.
Okay.
I'm a realist.
All right.
All right. I mean, I know what everybody says. Confidence is going to. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I get it. I need to know what ballpark we're working in here. But let's just assume for the sake of this that we're on a level playing field.
Okay.
All right?
All things equal.
All things equal. If you're deathly allergic to cats, it's his words.
Did he say deathly, though?
Yes. Read again.
I knew allergic to cats. Did he say deathly allergic to cats?
I'm deathly allergic to cats.
Oh, that's quote. You're
and
quoting.
I'm quoting.
Okay.
I'm deathly allergic to cats, and she has 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay. This is simple.
Okay.
This is simple. If you're deathly allergic to cats, why would you commit to someone who's going to choose cats? If up front, I'm being honest.
Okay.
If up front she goes, look, I love cats. I love cats so much that I can't sacrifice cats to be with you. You say, thank you. Have a great life. Maybe we can be friends. And move on with your day. Don't waste her time and don't waste your time. Why would you volunteer to live in a miserable setting? If you can get one girl, you can get another girl. There's lots of girls. You can find another girl who doesn't like cats.
What if this girl was Kate Upton?
Again, that's back to step one. Send me pictures. And then I'm going to be honest here.
And you'd be like, where's that Claritin?
Yeah.
I'll take a Claritin
I'm
shot.
snorting Claritin right now. All right. Cat people are kind of different. Okay? Now, are you a dog person or are you a cat person?
You asking me?
I'm asking whoever.
Oh.
Because I think there's a general deal. Are you a dog person or are you a cat person?
I hate a cat.
Okay.
I hate cats.
So if you walk into a girl's apartment, house, whatever, she's cool, you like her, she's nice looking, and the first thing you see is her cat. Immediately you go, okay, this might not be a fit.
After you sneeze.
Yeah, and if you're deathly allergic to cats, you're like, this isn't going to work. It's okay. You're not the one for her. She's not the one for you. Don't waste time.
All right, can I give some serious advice here?
I'm being serious.
No,
sure.
I'm talking me.
It's called McCready and Siskey. Yeah.
All right. So here would be if she is really important to you and you really like her. Okay. This kind of reminds me, Neal, and you see this with a lot of younger people. You know when people get married and before they have kids, they decide to buy a dog.
Yeah.
Buy a pet or whatever.
A lot of couples. We
see
did
that all the time, right?
We did that, sure.
And you have this little 4-legged friend that runs around for about a year or two until you create a 2-legged friend.
You have a baby until you have a baby.
Yes.
Right.
And then you have this 2-legged friend, and all of a sudden your 4-legged friend is freaking like you forget to feed the damn thing every once in a while. You forget to take him out.
Yeah.
You don't water him well enough. You stop taking him on the walks. And the 4-legged friend starts taking a back seat to the 2-legged friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my honest advice would be if she's that important to him. Okay. If she's that important to him, and more importantly, if you are that important to her.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there would be some sort of compromise. I would not allow a relationship to take if I was into somebody and they were into me.
Okay.
I would be damned. Cat, dog, parrot, snake, hamster. I don't give a shit.
Snake?
You said it. Actually, I said it.
You said it. I walk into a house and she's got a snake. I'm out.
What if it was Kate Upton?
I'm out.
Bullshit.
I'm out.
Bullshit. Neal McCready. Kate Upton could have had a pet anaconda. And you'd be like, let me pet the anaconda.
No.
Yes, you would.
No, there's a line that's too far. Because look, here's the reality. If I can get one Kate Upton, I can go get other Kate Uptons who don't have pet anacondas. No, I'm out. I walk into a room and a girl's got a snake in there. See, like the Burmese python or something. I'm out.
Here's the deal. If you like her that much, she likes you that much, the cats aren't that important to the point where both of y'all should be ready to kick the cat to the curb, in my opinion. I'm not a cat person. I hate the cats.
So we're generally on the same page. You have to say to her, look, if you choose the cats over me, I get it.
Yeah, I think there needs to be
no ill will.
Look,
But it's
I
time
like
to move
you.
on.
If she likes you enough, you say, hey, I'm definitely allergic if we're. Now, I'm not saying she needs to go give the damn cats away to the damn to the what do you call it? The Humane Society.
Humane Society.
But I wouldn't go over her house and
You can find a home for the cat.
you could there can be a compromise to work to see. And look, if you're in the early stages of a relationship, you sure as the hell don't need to be going over there. She should make compromise to come to your place.
And he hasn't even really been over there that much. When he goes over there, she hides the cats. So so here's the problem. When the relationship becomes a real relationship, she's not going to hide the cats anymore. She's not going to always put her best foot forward. No, she's not.
But would you though? Are
you going to live in a house with the hidden cats?
Well, I'm not living there anyway.
Well, that's my point. At some point, if they're going to be serious, they're going to spend a lot of time together. He's going to sleep over there. She's going to sleep at his place. Something's going to happen with the cats, right? I mean, if you become engaged and you get married, what are you going to do? You going to live in separate places until the cats die?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like if it gets to that point of that, while you're in the development stages of your relationship, the cats cannot be a part of it. And then if you decide to go the next step, then the cats need to fucking disappear.
I'm with Eric, by the way. All snakes are cobras. Someone says, what kind of snake is that? I'm like, that is a water rattler cobra.
Anaconda.
Anaconda. It is not a good snake.
So if Kate Upton had a pet snake.
No, it's done. We're done.
Are you serious?
If she says it's me, she says, if you want me, you have to live with my snake.
She had it in a glass container in a separate room.
No way. Every night I'd be worried about that snake.
That bad?
Yes. 100%.
What would you do? What would you do if you were in bed with Kate Upton and the snake got out and it crawled up in the bed with you?
It'd be just Kate and the snake. I'd say that's your girlfriend now, Mr. Snake. That's your girlfriend now.
You're that bad.
That's your girlfriend.
I mean, I don't like him either.
That's your girlfriend now.
Like I have a fear of things, but it doesn't get to the point to where I would like, I don't know. But this is where I'm different. I have a fear of things and I dislike things, but I wouldn't let that get in the way of something that I wanted to do. I guess is my point.
I understand.
That's where
I'm just telling you.
Even this, like,
if there were snakes in the bed, I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
I wouldn't do it. I'd be gone. That's your girlfriend now, Mr. Snake.
I think.
So I don't know. You sounds like you're still fairly early in the relationship. You guys need to work this out now. You don't need to let this fester and let it ferment and let it become something. And then a year from now, after you've wasted a year of your life, because the fact that he says he's looking to take it to another level, that tells me that he's looking for a committed relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in on that.
All right.
I'm in. I'm with you.
So we've made that decision.
We have.
If you've made that decision, and this is great, by the way, don't waste a year of your life, 6 months of your life. Why put your feelings out there and get yourself heartbroken over something that could have been resolved day one? Hey, look, I don't like cats. They make me sick. I don't want to live sick. I do like you, but I don't like the cats. And I get that you have to choose, but if it's a hard choice to make, I respect that. And by you telling me that today, we save each other a lot of emotional trauma.
Yeah, I think that's the key part of the question, because in that statement, he said he doesn't want to make her choose the cats over him.
Okay. Well, then
I think you have to.
I do too.
I think you got to make that has to be discussed.
Why would you live miserably?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
So
that's got to be
you
discussed.
have to say, I like you. I think we could have something, but I'm going to be honest with you.
And it's not that I don't like cats. They kill me.
The cats are, yeah.
They kill me.
The cats are a thing.
Yeah, they kill me.
I mean, you see this with like women who have children who get back, they say to a guy pretty early on, hey, look, before we go down this road.
Very similar.
I have this. If this is more than you want, I get it.
Although the kids do not kill the person. This actually kills the guy.
But it's kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't want, hey, do you want to live the rest of your life with cats? Because look, she doesn't have just one cat. It'd be one thing. So hey, let's be clear here. No. Hold on.
I tried to keep it together as long as I could. Now you're fixing to lose me.
Here we go. She got lonely for a little while. Things didn't work out. She didn't have a guy, whatever. Maybe work was kind of stressful. I don't know. You go through after college. Sometimes it get a little tough. She went and got a cat. Okay? She's got a cat. All right. I get it. Less maintenance than a dog. It's not like she could go get a German Shepherd in her apartment. She went and got a second cat. All right? She's not living without cats. You walk into a person's house and he's got 5 dogs. That dude loves dogs. There's nothing wrong with that. But that dude's going to always have dogs. Okay? So you know that going in. You're a girl and you walk into some guy's apartment and he's got 3 dogs. That guy's going to have a dog every day for the rest of his life. He loves dogs. You have a decision.
It is a sign.
It's a sign. You walk into a girl's place and she's got 2 cats. So she bought 1 cat thinking, hey, maybe I just need some company. Now she wants 2 cats. The odds are overwhelming that before she goes back to 1 cat, she's going to go to 3 cats. She's going to be like Angela on The Office with cats live streaming back to her office cubicle. She's going to be dressing cats before you know it. I'm just telling you, the fact that she's got 2 cats, she is into cats. So this is not complicated for you. You have to decide, do you want to live with cats or not? Because I think you can have her and the cats or nothing.
Hey, while we're on the subject of cats, can we have a therapy session real quick? I'd like to have my own therapy session.
Okay.
I've had some very what's the right word? I've had some traumatizing experience with cats. That's why I want everybody to know why I don't like cats.
Okay.
So very early on as a kid, I mean, I'm talking about I couldn't have been 3 or 4. My dad had a cat, and I would stay with him on the weekends. And I remember getting up. I mean, some of the earliest memories, Neal, getting up Saturday morning, my underoos on, heading down the hallway, and he had this just asshole of a cat, and this cat would attack me. I'm like 3 or 4, would get a running start and would jump.
It viewed you as a threat.
And would attach its claws into my skin as
Yeah.
I'm 3 or 4 years old,
Yeah.
walking down the hall.
Didn't like you.
And my Superman underoos, man.
Didn't like you. You were a threat.
So that terrified me as a kid.
I got it.
And then
100%.
And then later on, I'm probably 10, 11. He had a cat. Same thing, asshole of a cat. And it would be under the bed. And you'd just be walking through the room. It'd be under the couch, walking in the summertime with no, socks or shoes on.
It attacked.
And it just latch onto your leg. And I hate a cat.
Yeah.
I'll kick a cat.
Yeah. So if you walk in,
not brought to you by PETA. I can't stand
So
cats.
if you walk into a place and she's got 2 cats, you're out. She's not yours. She's not your person. Look.
Is it the dander of cats that they're allergic to?
This I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't hate cats, but I don't really. It wouldn't be.
I hate a cat.
Okay, so if you hate a cat or if you're deathly allergic to a cat, this is just no go.
Yeah, I'm not allergic. I just don't like it.
The odds are y'all aren't going to. Here's the truth. Here's the answer. Odds are it's over. It's over before it started.
Guy went from asking advice to, it's over.
I mean, I'm working through it. It's probably over. What are you going to do? Tell your friends? I mean, when you go home, when you get serious with this girl, you bring her home to your friends, to your brothers, to your sisters, to your family. I don't know his situation. Hey, this is Tina. Yeah, this is Tina.
That's
Well, Tina, tell me about yourself. I got 2 cats. They're going to be like, what the hell? Are you that hard up? Is it that bad? Come on. This is easy.
And then we go back to question 1.
Yes. And then as soon as she leaves the room, they're like, you hate cats.
You're deathly, according to the
Deathly allergic. What are you doing? So I'm doing you a favor before you embarrass yourself at Thanksgiving. Just walk away. Walk away.
Unless she's Kate Upton.
Yeah. At which point, full circle.
You snort Claritin.
The answer to it when they go, what are you doing? Did you see her?
No, because this may be the test, Neal. If you take her home for Thanksgiving and nobody says, what are you doing? That's they your loved ones know. Well, if you go home and nobody goes, what are you doing? If they say, man, great job.
She's going to take the cats everywhere. She's going to take the cats. You're not, those cats. Those cats.
Do you think they wear outfits on Halloween?
Oh, there's a decent chance.
If you got 2 cats, you got outfits, right?
Decent chance. Okay, hold on. He's sending pictures right now. We're going to get pictures.
He sent pictures?
Oh, yeah. He gets his
All right, I got to come over.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. You see on the computer. That's her. That's him. I got thoughts.
I got thoughts too.
Got thoughts. I didn't have all day for this, but all right.
Okay. Snort Claritin.
You know what? Give the Claritin a shot.
Yeah. So skip everything we just told you.
You know what?
Let's try the Claritin first. Hey, let's like a doctor. Look, he asked for prescription. Here's your prescription. I suggest.
And she's got those eyes, too.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. 100 milligrams of Claritin. Chop it up. Get a little razor blade. Get you a $100 bill.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Forget everything else we just said.
I mean, I get it. I understand.
Gotcha. Claritin.
See? We just did 30 minutes. I could have been saved a lot of trouble by showing me the picture.
Yeah.
And women are like, why are men crazy?
There you go.
There you go.
That answered your question.
Right there.
Right there.
Because the first question I had ended up being the right one, which is the last thing a woman would have said was, what does he look like?
Yeah, we could have answered that question in 30 seconds.
Women would have been able to tell me about him. What's he like? What's he do? What's he do for a living? What's his family like? What are his values? What are whatever. Guys like, what does she look like?
Snort Claritin. Enjoy your day.
Scale of 1 to 10, Grind says, I mean, I don't have the full picture. It's like chest up. I mean, on the cute scale, she's 9-ish.
Snort the Claritin.
On just I mean, she scores highly. She has a high score, and she's got some crazy look to her, like fun crazy. Where, yeah, I mean, if you told me it was worth it, Grind, I'd believe you. Let's put it that way.
I would not be asking him at Thanksgiving, what is he doing?
No, I would assume.
I'd be like,
I would assume. Yeah, I'd be like,
hey man, I got you, dog.
Gotcha.
I got you.
All right, we'll be back on. She's got those eyes. Yep, she does. But in kind of a good way, like where it's dangerous, but you might have like a life vest where you're like, maybe it's not that dangerous. Like you're going really fast in the car, but you are wearing a seatbelt. Kind of like that.
Neal.
Kind of like that. Interesting. No, not pet snake worth it. No, because if given the picture that I just saw, if you then told me, oh, by the way, she has a Burmese python, I'm done.
She's not snake hot. She's cat hot.
Now I know that she's the crazy portion of the axis is too far.
Hey, we just invented a term. She's cat hot. She's not snake hot.
Yeah, I'm snake hot's like.
She's snake hot. No, she's not. She's cat hot. She's not snake hot for Neal.
Yeah, no. Okay. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll make our picks. Tyler will finally take his lead. Been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. Rain Body Fuel on Instagram. To learn more.
Want to thank everyone in the Cooper Chevrolet chat. And I just want to remind everybody that Cooper Chevrolet has got brand new 2023 Tahoes, $4,000 off MSRP at Cooper Chevrolet in Anniston. Give them a call at 256-236-4481 or go to cooperchevrolet.com.
Hey, do us a favor, by the way. Tell a friend about the show. Share it on your social media. We'd really appreciate it. If you got friends that cheer for other teams, let them know we talk about their teams. And obviously, we talk about things that we just spent 40 minutes talking about something that has nothing to do with football. So,
and send your life advice questions.
Send your life advice questions to either one of us. We will protect your identity, as you just saw. We just did. We didn't give away any details. So, we're here to help. And we'll be back on Friday. Till then, bye.
Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday, not Friday. We will not be here Friday. We'll be here Thursday.